Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So Sim Update 5 for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is no longer just talk. The beta has been rolling, multiple builds have dropped, fixes are stacking up, and now we finally have a real picture of what's actually changing. So the question is SU5 finally fixing the sim? Stay tuned to hear more. One app designed to do it all. Hangar Control brings everything together: control bindings, hardware configuration, mod and profile management, application launching, add-ons, config files, and more, all managed from a single application. Mods Hangar goes beyond just mods and add-ons. It manages profiles, config files, text files, backups, snapshots, and helps keep your community folders clean and organized. Application Hangar launches your entire sim stack with a single click. Your Stream Decks are fully controlled through the Hangar Control plugin, while all of your other Stream Deck plugins remain active and available. Built by a simmer for simmers, Hangar Control adds new features and hardware support every week based on community feedback. It's a one-time purchase with lifetime updates, no subscriptions. You can try it for free for 5 days with no restrictions at overkillsimulations.com. Just create an account, head to your account page, download the latest version, and get started. And if you're looking for in-depth Microsoft Flight Simulator aircraft tutorials, check out my Patreon site. Links to Hangar Control and Patreon are down in the description below. Okay, so first off, folks, if you guys are interested in supporting me, supporting the channel, and elevating your simulator experience in Microsoft Flight Simulator X-Plane, DCS World, and now even soon to be American Truck Simulator, consider going to overkillsimulations.com and checking out Hangar Control. There's a 5-day free trial. Just make sure that you create your account first. Whether you are purchasing or going for the trial, create your account first. Otherwise, you may run into some issues. Okay, so let's get into it. Today we are doing a proper follow-up on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 Sim Update 5 Beta, because the last time we talked about this, the beta had basically just opened up, and at that point the conversation was more of what Microsoft and Asobo said was coming, how to join it, and what they were broadly trying to improve upon. But now we actually have something better to work with, and that is a string of official beta builds and release notes straight from Microsoft Flight Simulator. So this video is the real follow-up. We are going to cover the current status of SU5 Beta and what has changed since the beta was first launched, what has basically already been fixed, what areas Microsoft is clearly focusing on, and what all likely that means for the full release whenever it finally exits the beta. And I want to stress this right up front: everything in this video is based on official Microsoft Flight Simulator website information and the official forum release notes. There's no guessing here. We're not pulling from rumors or comments. So first, let's talk about where SU5 Beta stands right now. The public beta officially began on February 13th of 2026, and Microsoft made it available on Steam, Windows PC, and Xbox. They also confirmed that Career Progress and Challenge League Progress are separated between live builds and the flighting build, which means your live career progress does not carry into the beta, and your beta progress does not carry back into the live. Marketplace ownership, however, does remain available across both. As of March 19th, 2026, the beta is obviously still active, and the latest official release notes I found in Sim Update 5 Beta 1.7.11, posted on the 16th of March. Also, if you were waiting for a weekly briefing, Microsoft has already stated that there will be no briefing tomorrow, being March the 19th, Friday, as the community has been traveling to FS Weekend. Now, compared to our earlier coverage, this is the biggest change. We now have a development trail. SU5 is no longer just a promise, and we can actually see the direction of travel through the official builds. So let's talk about the changes themselves. When SU5 Beta first launched with 1.7.6, Microsoft came out swinging pretty hard with statements of performance and stability. Officially, they listed optimization of airport parking lots, parked cars, memory and performance, optimization of building generation, particle effects, and much, much more. And also, they claim to have a fix for the potential crash and stutters caused by FSR generation on NVIDIA cards. That matters because right there you can clearly see the theme of SU5. This is not supposed to be a tiny patch with a few tweaks here and there, at least not from the official notes. SU5 is clearly trying to clean up what has been broken for quite a long time, and in my opinion, the old broom and dustpan action should have happened a long time ago, but it's nice to see things finally moving in the right direction as far as the focus point. In 1.7.6, we also saw some quality of life and system changes. Microsoft updated the Toby SDK, added aircraft variation type to the aircraft selector title, added an option to hide the HUD while in walk-around view, fixed a missing point of interests, as well as upgraded the weather panel behavior, corrected some VR binding visuals, improved wake turbulence, CFD, and quite a bit more. So again, continuing with that theme of let's fix what's broken and clean up the room. So if you think back to the earliest conversations that anyone has been having about SU5 Beta, where the message was basically this should improve things, now we can actually say that it looks like they're starting to improve things. The official notes show a beta that has started heavy with a first pass on performance, memory use, rendering, aircraft systems, EFB, ATC, and career flow. With 1.7.7 that came out back in February, this is where the beta finally actually started to take a bit further dig into where visible user changes could be seen. The standout one that most were asking for was the addition of the sim rate under the map. This is a small feature on paper, but it is also something that even myself, I use very, very heavily. So essentially what it allows you to do for those who don't use this feature is it allows you to change the sim rate. So let's say you're doing a commercial flight, you're up at cruise, you're in a 2.5 hour cruise, you really got nothing to do. You can increase the sim rate, turning a 2.5 hour flight into a 35-minute flight. So it makes it a lot easier from a simulation standpoint and sometimes more enjoyable to be able to get back into that next phase of flight, keep you busy in the cockpit to where you don't just sit there and twiddle your thumbs while there isn't much to do when it comes to Microsoft Flight Simulator and you're up at cruise. So then we also have the timeline of what has changed, with Microsoft explicitly posting alongside 1.7.7 saying that newly logged regressions were under active investigation, and specifically named issues like auto-gen buildings with no windows, Toby eye tracker tilt, and as just a few things that they mentioned they were working on. This is useful because a week or so later, we can actually see that those issues were addressed. With 1.7.9, the build was one of the clearest examples of the beta doing exactly what the beta is supposed to do. Microsoft listed a fix for performance issues caused by VFX execution. They also fixed generated buildings, missing windows and doors. On top of that, they added airport parking lot and gate names when hovering over them in the world map. So now, compared to earlier stage of the beta, we can say that at least one publicly acknowledged regression, the missing windows and doors on autogen structures, moved from investigation to fix in the release notes. Finally, we start making some pretty big heavy hitting with 1.7.10 that came out on the 9th of this month, being March. And this is where the beta looks like it pivots even harder into the core sim behavior and compatibility. Officially, Microsoft says they blocked the update of key motion parameters while the user is in the in-game menu, and also while in active pause for certain values, which ensures export of the fixed last valid motion parameters and values via SimVars when motion is not actually being simulated. They also specifically say that this fixes a G-lock issues during active pause. That same build also fixed some broken behaviors for FS 2020 aircraft. It improved the 737 MAX 8 auto throttle and performance initialization behavior in the MCDU, fixed flight level cruise altitude handling when filing a flight plan with ATC, corrected an issue where ATC could assign cruise altitudes above the aircraft service ceiling, and improved EFB route with dotted discontinuities. They also fixed the career hold short logic and corrected certain airport data issues. It also added the new SimVar motion simulation, which indicates whether motion simulation for the user aircraft is active. Now, this all tells me, staying strictly with the official notes, that SU5 Beta is not just about raw FPS. Microsoft is spending time on the plumbing, SimVars, export behavior, aircraft compatibility, flight planning, ATC logic, and career mission validation. that is finally deeper than just visuals and new aircraft. And it's, again, something that needed to happen for a very long time. And finally, we get into the most recent build that came out just this week on March the 16th. This one is smaller in the notes, but is still meaningful. Microsoft added the ability to enable or disable the movements of ground services in airports. And they say that that is following community feedback, which also tells me that they're listening. Hey, watch out. They also disabled AI Copilot controls when using the virtual cursor in all assists preset. They fixed a full name POI search behavior and corrected sound clip distance being too low with FS 2020 packages, while also fixing looping hydraulic system behavior. So if I had to sum up the current state of SU5 Beta in one line, it would be this. The beta is still active, the official build is 1.7.11, and the update has evolved from a broad performance and stability pass into a multi-build cleanup of aircraft systems, compatibility, flight planning, ATC as we talked before, little UI changes, though the UI is so desperate it's unreal, and user-requested quality of life items. The other thing that I just want to come back to for just a second is the big talk about the disabling of ground services movements. This affects the AI traffic, your random trucks and service trucks and weird cargo loaders that fly or drive through your vehicle in Cessna. Or, you're sitting there on the runway and a truck comes running right across it as you're on final approach. Those things that can really, believe it or not, for those who have experienced it, really kill the immersion. Okay, so I'm actually really happy about that because the AI movement on the airports is so random and just sort of out of nowhere and with no intent or purposes other than to make it look like the airport is alive, tends to be more of a distraction and an immersion killer than anything. So I was really happy to see that one, I gotta say. So finally, let's talk about what is coming. This is where I want to be very careful. I did not find any official date for the SU5 release in the sources that I have checked. Microsoft's own official posts say the public testing is ongoing and the public roadmap currently says that with an updated roadmap to coming soon. So there may be absolutely plenty of more builds still to come. I am not going to event or try to create or speculate to a release window with the sim updates. Honestly, especially the sim updates, I would much rather them take their time and get it right. What we can say accurately is the pattern of the release build suggests that Microsoft is still in the phase of polishing, regression, cleanup, and iterating on community feedback. The proof is right there in the March 16th build, where they added the ground service movement option specifically after community feedback made the request. Now, there's a hell of a lot more in the community feedback, so I hope that they continue that path and keep digging and aren't just pulling a couple things out here and there. It would be nice if they took some very deep dive focus into the community feedback and really showed that behavior was something that was a consistent thing. Not to say that it's not. That's why I specified it would be nice if they showed us that that was a consistent thing. Anyway, I think probably the fairest takeaway for simmers watching this, if you're asking, is SU5 alive? Yes. If you're asking if they are still working on it? Yes. If you're asking if it's worth it to join it, my honest answer is always going to be with a beta, you have to make sure you're in the mindset for it. Again, I was on SU5 Beta before and ended up having to remove it before I installed it once again on 1.0. But the first iterations of SU5 Beta, for me, were a massive struggle point. Now, I know there's only a few other content creators that have experienced same things, but there are also plenty that have a wonderful time. And again, that is the nature of a beta. A beta takes so many variables into place, the simulation even in live release takes so many variables into place, that there's no way to ever guarantee that because I have a great experience with it, or you have a great experience with it, that everyone else is going to, which means you could be the one on the other end of that spectrum. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on where SU5 Beta is. If you enjoy these types of videos, be sure to hit that like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below if you want me to keep doing updates like these. This is the first time I've done an extensive deep dive into SU5 or any beta like this before, and if you guys like this sort of news broadcast with the talking lack of head type of video where you can just sort of minimize it and listen to the updates, let me know that as well. And of course, be sure to join the Discord. A link to my Discord is down in every single one of my videos. Love to have you join the community and continue to talk through the flight sim geek aviation genre. We are 2,000 members strong in the Discord, and we would love to have you on board. And finally, you guys know the drill. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.